Good morning. Welcome to Saturday morning Qi Gong. This is the Levi Tai Chi School. I am Lao Shi Paul Nettles. This is, of course, the beautiful Alexandria Museum of Art. You'll notice I've changed the view a little bit, so you have some fresh art back there to look at while we go through class. It is Saturday, November 21st, and we are, as always, sponsored by a generous grant from Rapids Regional Medical Center, to whom we are very grateful and thankful. It is a beautiful morning outside. I hope you're able to enjoy this day somehow, if you haven't already started. I've got a few here in class in person this morning, and of course you're always welcome if you decide that it is safe and up to your standards. You're certainly welcome to join us here in the museum. Otherwise, of course, the video is always here for you as part of the package. It's good to have you here with us, both in person and otherwise. I was thinking this morning a little bit about mindfulness. We talk about that a great deal in Qi Gong, and there is so much to that subject you could exhaust yourself easily just looking into the most surface of examinations of mindfulness, and we're not going to get into a big, deep philosophical discussion of mindfulness this morning. But what I want you to think about, no pun intended, as you go through your form, as you go through your day especially, mindfulness is something that can be practiced anytime. I have to think, I'm going to call Georgia out. We were talking about putting in our steps for our health and tracking our steps, and Georgia said when she's standing in her desk, she'll just start stepping in place to get her step counts up. It keeps her active. She'll find opportunities to work those steps into her day. And it does not take very much to work mindfulness into your day. And mindfulness in the simplest terms and for our use here, all we're talking about is being present, being in the moment, not worrying about the future, not worrying about the past, being in the moment, non-judgmental. We're not judging ourselves, and we talk about that a great deal in class, but not judging yourself as you go through your form, simply doing it. And accepting things as they come, not trying to assign a narrative to them, not trying to define them or categorize them, simply letting them be. And that can be achieved during your form, of course. As we said, as long as you're not judging yourself as you go through your form. If you mess up something, don't worry about it. Don't judge it. Don't make a narrative about it. Simply accept it and proceed on from there. As you go through your day, think about that. You can stop for 5 seconds. That even takes stepping. You can simply stand there and turn your mind in for a few moments, let things come as they are, take a deep breath, relax, and go about your day. And you've been mindful. And you can do that over and over and over again, as often as the mood strikes you, as often as you think about it. The joy of it, like the Qi Gong, is as you practice, you get better at it. You can linger in that place longer. You get more skillful at it, and you can get a deeper appreciation of the moment. It becomes a habit. It becomes something enjoyable to do. It becomes an endorphin thing, like our Qigong form, like Tai Chi, like anything you practice. If you do Zazen, anything, it becomes a joyful thing. And once you get to that point, it becomes simplicity itself. It simply happens, and you enjoy it, and you go on. At first, of course, it's tough. Like when you learn your Qigong, it takes some doing, it takes some practice, it takes some real effort. Once you get through that, and it's not difficult, once you get through that, that's when the joy starts. That's when the real benefit starts. So, after you finish your form today, after you've had your practice and you're feeling good and limber, and maybe your mind is a little more prone to being centered, as you go through your day-to-day, if you're prepping for Thanksgiving, if you're getting ready for the big Zoom family gathering or whatever you're going to do for Thanksgiving, if you're going to the grocery store, if you're going to walk the dog, whatever you do, take a moment, just a moment. And you can do this walking, you can do this standing, you can do this anywhere. Take a deep breath, focus inside, let things come and accept them as they are. Don't try to judge, don't try to assign meaning to it, just let it happen. Enjoy the moment. And go back to your day again. Keep those little practices in, and you'd be surprised how far you can get and how often you'll return to it. Like Georgia putting me to shame with 10,000 plus steps a day, because she's tossing these little moments in every chance she gets practically. And she's staying healthy, good cardiovascular, she's doing her Tai Chi or Qi Gong. It doesn't take much. She's found a way to fold it into her day. This doesn't even require stepping. It just requires this 3-pound piece of bacon in your head, and you got it. It's always with you. So, all right. Thanks again, as always, to the Alexandria Museum of Art and their wonderful staff, and to Rapid Regional Medical Center for having us here. Don't forget the expansion of the Healthy at AMoA program, probably happening next year, but they're looking to expand the program. So if you have any thoughts or opinions about what you might like to see in here, especially from myself, we're looking at probably expanding into a very short Tai Chi form, a free practice up here, run about 2 months or so. If you're interested in that, if you're not interested, if you'd like something else, let us know. Let the museum know. Let me know. You can comment anywhere. You can send direct messages to me or the museum. You can go to themuseum.org and get all the emails for all the staff. Let us know. Your opinion is important. This is a free service to you from the museum and from Rapid Regional Medical Center. And if you have an opinion, please let us know, because it's important that we know what you need and want out there, especially now. And hopefully, coming out of this pandemic will be a new time. And so your opportunities for having your voice heard are right here. So let us know for sure. Sunday, of course, will be the 8 a.m. class. We'll do our Sunday Back to Basics class, where we'll go way back into the very, very foundation work of Qi Gong, and we'll offer a beginner-style class. We'll talk about all the specifics of what we're doing, how we're holding ourselves, our breath, all the little nitpicky stuff that, as an advanced practitioner, you may have forgotten. You may have let slip out of your mind, things that you might have missed in a class. For the beginners, of course, it's a great time to start. We're going to give you all the specifics, more than you would ever want, of the history, the way you hold yourself, the way you breathe, the way you prepare your mind, all the little nuances and things that our advanced practitioners here in the museum, for instance, just do automatically. So that's tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., and of course we'll resume as regular. We should be able to have a Thanksgiving class as well. I was thinking about that. I think my wife actually has to work that day, and we're not doing any kind of family gathering, of course, because of the COVID. So there should be a Thursday morning class, as always, and then we'll continue on through and see how things happen. So, without further ado, I've burned a lot of your time already. Let me turn the Do Not Disturb on. I forgot that. There we go. And let's begin our first sow, shall we? gazing backward. Stars fall to earth. Breathe in. Lion wags tail. heavens and earth. Breathe in. Quan Ti sits on his throne. lastly, stand with the earth. Well done. So, important lesson just learned. If you were watching earlier, you probably heard Georgia mention that I missed the entire posture. My mind had gotten busy with something else, and before I'd drawn it back, I was on automatic pilot and was stepping into the third posture rather than the second. And the thing is, if you knew me 10 years ago, for instance, or even 5 years ago, if I made that mistake and you could get inside my head for a moment, you would hear recrimination, self-defeatist talk. The narrative around that would have been, you know, you're supposed to be a teacher, a leader, an exemplar, and you've gone and screwed it up. And I would have beaten myself up for it for anywhere from a few minutes to a day, honestly. And that is the antithesis of mindfulness. When you attempt to be mindful, when you practice mindfulness, a failure, always an option, occurs. The correction appears, thanks to my external memory over there. And instead of beating myself, it was a simply matter of, oh yeah, okay. And we change gears, come back and do the second posture and continue. And in my case, do it with a little laugh. And trust me when I tell you, it's taken a very long time to get there for me. I have a lifetime of Catholic guilt and Protestant work ethic and Western self-defeatism built into me that was always the default answer. You beat yourself up for failure. And that doesn't help. You know that. I know that. But it becomes a habit, and habits are extraordinarily hard to break, especially when they've been ingrained for years or decades. But it's completely possible. It is completely possible. It simply takes, like everything else, practice, mindfulness, attention to detail, and more practice. It takes doing. So as you move through your day and you find yourself maybe doing your form, maybe walking across the yard, maybe doing whatever you're doing, and something occurs that ordinarily you would beat yourself up over, that you would recriminate yourself for failing at. You know, if your child calls and they're in jail, or if you trip in the yard over something you trip over 1,000 times, or whatever happens, remember, don't beat yourself up over it. Don't make it a second arrow with which you stab yourself over and over again. The first arrow, the failure, is enough. The story you tell afterwards, the arrow you stab yourself with, is what causes the problems. So put that second arrow away. Accept it. See the opportunity. And we have talked about opportunity since day one with this. See the opportunity and take it and move forward. And I say it like it's the simplest thing in the world, and it's not. Trust me, it's not that simple. It gets simple with practice. just like the Qi Gong does, just like Tai Chi does, just like anything you do, anything you attempt to do, anything you learn takes practice. Mindfulness takes practice, a lot of it. Fortunately, you can't leave your mind at home, like your sewing materials or your Tai Chi shoes. Practice it. Practice it, practice it, practice it every chance you get. Practice it gently, practice it relaxed, and you'll be amazed how fast it becomes a normal reaction, how fast you can reprogram yourself to not beat yourself up, to not make it an ordeal, to not stab yourself with that second arrow of recrimination and self-doubt and all that good stuff. All right, enough preaching. Thank you for today. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being at home with me. You're, of course, always appreciated. I do see the numbers. They all stay steady, and it's nice to see that there are people out there who are enjoying this and benefiting from it. I'm glad I can bring this to you. And of course, thanks to the museum for having us here on Saturdays in this beautiful location. If you're not aware, if you have friends who aren't aware, tell them we have a beautiful museum downtown, corner of 2nd and Murray Street, the old bank building, if you're old enough or lived here long enough. Tell people the museum is here. It's beautiful. It's safe. It's wide open. Air is very carefully filtered. Masks are required. If you need a break, especially during now when things are stressful, when it's the holiday season and grandma doesn't know how to use Zoom. You're trying to teach her, and the kids are screaming, and the cats are in the turkey. Maybe now's the time for a break. Go to the museum. Take a walk in the art and be mindful for a little bit. And of course, thanks to Rapids Regional Medical Center for having us here, as always. I know they don't get the holidays off, so much appreciation of them for being there when we most need them. So tomorrow morning, back to basics, our beginners class again, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, and of course on YouTube later and on Facebook. The archives are there all the way back to the end of March. And thank you as always for being here, for being there, for keeping us moving forward. Until tomorrow, as always, please, especially now during the holiday season, stay safe and be well.